Good morning, everyone. This is Paula Harris, and I have with me today John Stamper with the CE Exchange. John, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Paula. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, well, I'm excited because I'm really thrilled about what you're doing for dentistry and how it's going to help everyone. So, John, we did a call. It's been, almost 3 years ago now, in 2015 on this when you were getting started with tracking continuing education for dental offices. And, man, a lot has changed since then, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It's been, I think, like most startup companies, Paula, you learn as you go along, and then I think what tends to happen is you gravitate towards the one piece of your company that people use the most and are interested in the most, and that certainly is what has happened to us. So, yes, a lot has changed.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, that's, when I had the bakery, I kind of did that too. People come in and say, do you make this? Do you make that? And I remember getting the request for the king cake, for Mardi Gras, and I'm like, okay, I'll make one. So you get those requests and you see what the need is and you kind of match that. So, John and I are connected through a client in Kentucky, and he worked in a dental practice for a while. Isn't that right, John?
Absolutely, yeah. I spent, I guess it was about 3 years, Mortensen Dental Partners, or some people know them as Mortensen Family Dental, which is the home base is here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I had the opportunity to work with them for about 3 years as a operations manager, coach. They wanted me to work with a lot of their dental practices across the country, so it offered me the opportunity to work with a lot of the dentists and office managers, hygienists, really everybody in the team, and learn, all the ins and outs of the dental practice. And it was just such a great experience, and really enjoyed it.
Well, that's awesome. They're a wonderful family. They just have a family of dentists, don't they?
Absolutely. Yep.
And I love them. And it gives you a lot of credibility, John, for what you're doing when you understand dentistry. There are a lot of vendors out there who are great and very helpful, but some of them don't understand dentistry, and I think that makes a big difference for our clients. So, I'm friends with you on Facebook, and I always see your kids. They are just adorable.
Thank you. It's interesting. We will have people share about them, and then my wife and I always laugh because we're like, we want people to see them at 8:30 at night when they're all the tough kid stuff. But certainly they're so much fun, and love doing a bunch of crazy things. And we've got them set up doing this new trash team, which they're taking out the trash, and they love it. So we're going to try to take advantage of that as long as we can until they get to the point where they do not want to do chores around the house. We're going to try to milk it as long as we can.
Well, that is perfect. I mean, I have 5 daughters, and when they were coming up, we had a chart of what the chores were. We rotated, and they cross-trained each other. So
absolutely.
It's awesome. But, John, you're the CEO and the co-founder of CE Exchange, and I'm actually working with you on this for some things I'm doing. So I wanted you to share with my clients exactly what's happening and what you're offering to dental offices, and then even maybe to doctors who have some expertise that they would like to share. So why don't you take us through what your levels are in CE Exchange, the different brands that you have within the company, and what they offer?
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Paula. And I think it all starts, or I guess I could even say it all started with the core tool that we built, which was the CE tool, which is a tool that dentists, hygienists, anybody that has to take continuing education, needs to keep track of their hours. It is a free tool where they can log in, they can create their own website, and then they can keep track of all their CE classes and courses that they take. So, for example, if a doctor in Tennessee goes to a course or a study club event, next week, and then gets the certificate for that, he or she can log in, they can upload it. It is customized by occupation and by state. As you know, Paula, everybody is different.
Yeah.
Dentists and hygienists have different hours in different states and different requirements, and some can get Some have to get different business courses or online requirements and things like that. So we really wanted to customize that because, as you may know, and many people know, when you go to a dental board website, sometimes the information is right there, and sometimes it's not.
Right.
So it can be challenging to know what you have to do. So that's the first tool that we created. We have really a lot of the dentists and hygienists in Kentucky, and then another 2,000 or 3,000 more across the country that are using it, and that's where we started. And then we started to get a lot of feedback from some of our members that said, in this digital age, wouldn't it be great if when we went to a course, the certificate and all the hours automatically got moved over to our tracker? So we spent about a year and we built what is called My CE Market, which is a marketplace for CE courses. It's where dental professionals can find CE courses. But to your point, Paula, it also is a platform for those that want to speak and those that provide courses. So we have created an opportunity for anybody that does a live event or is creating any online courses. I know that's what you mentioned. That's one of the things that we're working with you on, and really excited about the opportunity for more and more dental professionals to take online courses. And so that platform allows professionals to be able to sell their tickets to their live events or sell their online course. And the way that it works, Paula, is when, let's say you put up your online course and a dentist goes to register and take that course, it then automatically creates a free account for them on the CE tool, so that at the completion of that course, after they answer a question and they go through all of that, that certificate and all that information automatically goes over to their CE tracking tool. So they'll have that in there, and it's all connected.
That's awesome. Oh, that just makes it so much easier to track. I have teams, the CE I've done for them, and they'll call me a year later. Can you send me another certificate? I can't find it,
Right.
So this is going to just streamline everything.
Yeah, and we're excited about it. And I think what it has done is it's opened up some doors as well to work with dental professionals that have wanted to speak for a while. They're content experts on their subject, and maybe they want to digitize what they've created, and they just haven't known maybe where to start and how to put all that together. And that's what's been the most exciting, is to start to work with a lot of people in the industry and have them do that. We are AGD certified, so CE Exchange, we have our own license, and so that's been very helpful for any professional out there that has content but want to make sure that it can count as CE. So we sponsor individuals, and then, like you mentioned, the next step would be, okay, we have this My CE Market platform where they could upload their courses and sell tickets and all of that, and it's really all connected. And then the final piece of that is to help those individuals market a lot of those courses as well. So the CE tool that I mentioned, we send out a monthly reminder to all of our members, keeping them updated on where they are with their hours.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
Each month, they get a quick reminder that says, you've taken 7 hours, you have 23 left, just as a way to kind of keep them on track. And so in those emails, certainly, where people are realizing where they are with their CE hours, we've put little spots on there for CE providers to put the courses that they're offering, so that if somebody says, hey, I have to take a CE course, hey, look at that, there's a great, Paula Harris CE course, let me click on that, and of course it brings them over to My CE Market so that they can learn more about that. So we're creating really an ecosystem in regards to CE to help everybody that's in the mix.
That's fantastic. That sounds like a really great idea. And I know it's a great idea. And looking forward to working more with you on that. So, just for any day. Now, this can be any state in the country, right?
That's correct. I think that's what we're finding is that we, in getting our AGD certification, I'll walk through a little bit about how this works. Okay. So I'm sure many people have had at one time in their career, maybe not, hopefully not, have been audited by their board. But every dental board is different, and they will randomly audit 10% of the licensees or what have you. But most importantly, what they're looking for is to just make sure that the course that you took was from a credible source. And certainly the ADA certification, the AGD certification, because it is such a stringent process for a company like ours to get certified, if an individual got audited and the board saw that they had taken a course that was AGD certified, it doesn't matter, what state that individual is in, as long
Right.
as that course has been certified and it fits into a specific bucket that they need to take. I think that's a big misnomer out there, is that people in other states being able to take other courses, and
That's right.
and it's actually a lot easier than you think.
It is. I know it works very well. So, all right. And then you have some other things going on here too, don't you?
Yeah, so recently started a couple of podcasts that I am just having a blast doing. I love learning from people in the industry, and I love using some of these newer technologies and these different mediums via the podcast to just share all the great things that people in dentistry are doing. So last September, started two podcasts. One is called The Digital Classroom, where I interview individuals in dental education, whether either doing CE courses or they're affecting education in some form or fashion, making a positive impact. So they come on the podcast, and the whole goal of it is to learn more about them. They certainly share what they're doing, but I love to learn about people's stories and share that. And so that's the Digital Classroom. And then the Digital Trade Show is the same concept, except we interview companies and have them come on and talk about their products and services. As you know, Paula, the whole trade show industry is changing. There are less and less people going, not necessarily because they don't want to, just time constraints and families and all of that. So wanted to showcase all of the great companies out there and have them come on and talk about their story, their why, some of the inner workings behind their companies other than just the features and benefits. So those are two podcasts that I've done since last September. I think we've recorded 120 episodes, so
Nice.
A lot of great individuals on there. As a matter of fact, I think you were one of the first on the Digital Trade Show.
Yes,
we had you on and shared all the great things that you're doing, so it was a lot of fun.
I appreciate that so much. I think I shared with you in January, I had spent some time working on my vision and realizing, this is my 20th year of coaching. Where am I going? What's my vision? And, getting things digital was a piece of my vision. And then you called me and you just made it so easy, because I have it sitting over here on my desk. It's to my left. It stares at me all the time. What I'm supposed to be doing. And you just made it so easy for me, John. It's just really amazing how that all worked out. So I thank you for that.
Well, our pleasure. And, it's very rewarding, I think, after spending, it's been maybe 15 years in the industry now. I spent, 10 years working for Brasco USA, and I had the opportunity to work with a lot of key opinion leaders and dental practices all over the country. And I think, to your point, Paula, what has been so rewarding is that there are so many professionals out there that have practiced for many years and have a lot of great things to share.
Yeah.
And we just feel like in this new digital age, it needs to be shared. I don't know about you, but I think any course or anything there's never been a course that I've attended where I at least didn't learn one thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some are different than others, but you at least learn one thing from somebody. And so we just believe, why shouldn't that information be out there and more people can learn about it? Education is changing.
It is,
and
definitely.
The way that we learn, and so
it's harder.
The second piece.
I was just going to say, it's harder and harder to get people to come to courses. In the late 90s, courses were packed, and then of course after 9/11, that changed a little bit, and then with just the expense of flying, the hassle of flying. I know our team went to a course. We flew to Texas. It's just a little different now, and people's time getting the whole team together to go somewhere. I mean, you still have to do some live CE, but if you can do the lunch and learn, or an hour here, an hour there, with some really good topics, and then play those over and over. I mean, sometimes you go to a course and it disappears by Monday, but then you've got a recording that you can go back and refer to over and over. I think that's a very valuable tool.
Absolutely. And I think what we're seeing as well, which is exciting, is this hybrid model where you will have a professional that does a live event where people get to network and you get to see people face to face, which still is so valuable. But to your point, then you have the ability to have other people listen to that and learn from that. And quite honestly, if you think about it, we only have so much of an attention span, even when we go to a live event. We can scribble a bunch of notes. So to be able to have something to refer back to and to utilize technology to our advantage is certainly really, really exciting. So
absolutely. And then you were about to share something else. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I think we have taken the digital trade show and digital classroom one step further, and we have created a VIP membership program that we're really, really excited about. A lot of the companies that I've had the chance to speak with on the digital trade show certainly have a lot of different products and services. And so what we did is we reached out to them and we said, would you be willing to offer discounts on your products and services to our members? And so we created a VIP membership, and I think right now on the digital trade show, I think we have close to 20 companies that are making available really, really good specials on their products and services. It's kind of like, Paula, when you go to the trade show and you get a really good special there. We wanted to bring that online, and we're really, really excited about that. And, there's an annual membership fee. It's like $49. To become a member. But our goal, certainly, when you look at a lot of the discounts these companies are offering, is in many cases, you take advantage of one discount from a company and your membership is paid for. So we're really, thankful and excited a lot of these companies are willing to do that. And then same thing with the digital classroom. When it comes to CE, a lot of the people that we spoke with, that we're partnering with, are offering discounts on their live events, discounts on their online CE. Same thing, on the membership side. So we're really excited about growing that. Week after week, we've got more companies, more CE partners that
That's
we're going
great.
to continue to add on there. So it's just a nice little membership piece.
I'm just so thrilled to be in on the ground floor of this with you. I really admire what you're doing. I believe in you, and I'm one of those vendors on there offering a special deal. So
Absolutely,
I think it's a great idea. You're exactly right. I actually have a client who's on the board of one of the big dental meetings, and he was commenting about there are less and less people coming, and then I'm hearing clients say, it's just not like it used to be, and my team doesn't want to go, and so I'm hearing you. I think this is the hand in glove answer for what needs to happen.
Yeah, and I think there are certainly a lot more dental professionals going online to learn about the products. And this was the whole piece of wanting to make sure that we didn't just create a membership program where it was just you go on there, you see the company logo, see their deal, and then move on. That was one of the things that was important to us, was to make sure that we integrated the podcast that I do with these companies so that, when a doctor goes on and they want to potentially learn about a company or they see their deal, you can listen to the podcast and listen more about the story behind that company to make it a little bit more personalized, to say, hey, do I believe in what they're doing? Do I like where they're going? And hopefully make that decision to want to use them just a little bit easier in this digital world where there's things all over the place. You can go online, and we've made it so easy. But we didn't want to lose that personal touch.
Perfect.
So that dentists can learn about the companies.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. I like that a lot. I'm a relationships person, as you know, and, I'm not out there just to the masses. I really want to connect with the people who are looking for me. I'm looking for them. They're looking for me. We're on the same vision level. So that makes it easy when you can listen and kind of go, I think this person is kind of a match for who I am. So
right. Exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
Exactly.
All right. So, the doctors, you mentioned that they can certainly offer something on the website, content that they've been working on. I know a lot of my clients have special things that they do that maybe no one else does and nobody knows about it. I mean, they could get on your website here and have a video of something that they are doing that's really special and unique. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. And what we do is it's kind of like a 2 or 3 step process. And first and foremost, Megan Sabransky, who's our VP of Marketing, she handles all of our CE sponsorship partners, those that want to look over their content, get it CE certified. She spent many years working with a doctor in Ohio and helping him with a lot of his CE courses. So she's gone through the whole gamut of understanding our AGD license and is really good with working with dentists that have content and just sitting down and saying, okay, what are your learning objectives? What are the things that you want to cover in this course? Right. And crossing all the T's and dotting the I's and making sure that now the course is CE certified. And that's step number 1. And then Stephanie Ami, who is our hygienist that works with us out in California, She is the expert on the MyCE Market platform. So she works with a lot of our customers to say, okay, you've got your course put together at CE Certified. Now let me walk you through how to upload it on the platform, how to manage that. And we manage our own platform at CE Exchange. So what we're doing with a lot of the dentists, and I know you do it yourself, which is so that they don't have to have their own account for their online courses. We can manage a lot of that for them to make it easy. They're the content expert.
Yes.
And we want to be able to find a way to be able to get those courses out there for them. Certainly they will market it as well, to their own network, but we will help them do that. So that's less for them to worry about on the technology side.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That is just so helpful when you've done all the technology work and we just have to follow the system and plug it in. So, and I've talked to Megan and Stephanie, and they're awesome ladies. I can attest to that, and they're very helpful. And you have been too, John. So thank you very much. Because I'm new at this. I mean, I'm a green greenhorn at this, putting things online and digital and stuff. So it's very nice to have their expertise and their help. So you mentioned the cost of $49 a year for a member, right?
Yeah, so a couple of things. The digital trade show and digital classroom. If a dentist wants to become a VIP member, that's $49 a year, and then that would give them access to 12 months of all of the discounts that we have from all of our partners on either one of those sites. And then as far as the pricing for the AGD certification and that, it usually ranges anywhere between $250 to $500 a year based on how many courses a particular professional wants us to certify. If someone only has a couple of courses, certainly there's not as much work.
Right.
And so that's the cost for the certification. And then the way that it works on MyCE Market is we are, for those individuals that do not want to have their own account and want to just sell their online courses on MyCE Market, we're working with them individually and even doing a revenue share on the sales of their courses, and certainly want that to be a win-win scenario, but minimize any of maybe some of the the monthly fees of having their own account and things like that when they sell those.
That makes sense. Now, if you're a team member going online and you want to watch an online course for CE, let's say you're a VIP member and you want to go on and watch a course at lunch. I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, so for example, like on the MyCE Market platform?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the way that it would work is, you would go on and you would go to mycemarket.com, and where you can see a lot of the courses that are on there. You would go ahead and register, which you have to go ahead and, you set up your own account. And then you go in there and you purchase the course, and then, of course, you can watch it and things like that. Now, in a lot of cases, depending on who's going to, purchase that course, let's say the doctor for the practice wants to purchase it, and then, he or she wants their team to watch it, then in that particular case, we would probably have the doctor go on, create the account, and have them watch it. Now, let's say there is a hygienist in the practice or a dental assistant that would like to get CE. In that particular case, then each one of those individuals would have to create their own account, because then that automatically creates the account on the CE tool, so that the certificate and the hours can be connected to each one of them. So
that makes sense.
Some, intricate. They have to put it, for example, they have to go in, put their license number, the state that they're licensed in. That way we can match it up exactly with the buckets that they manage.
Right. Okay. So what do those usually cost? The our CE program, whatever, online?
Yeah, so we see, this is obviously, an ever-changing piece, and, we'll see anything from $29 to $99. Some different course contents, if they do, 3 or 4 different sessions, they could be anywhere from $150 to $300. We have a doctor that we're working with who does a lot of periodontal therapy. He's created 4 individual courses. Each one is $39, and then he's created a bundle pack for an 8-person or less practice where it's $279, which is really, really nice. So it really depends, Paula, just on the content. I know you and I have spoke about this, and there is a lot of online CE out there. There is a lot of free CE. However, I'm a big proponent that a lot of the people out there has great content and is very valuable. And so I encourage people to certainly never shortchange yourself. You don't want it to be so expensive that people wouldn't buy it. But I'm a big believer in valuing who you are and your message and making sure that the appropriate price is on there.
That's right.
Especially if it's valuable. So.
Excellent. Yes. And we just had a leadership retreat last weekend at the beach. It was great. And there was just gold in that room. I'm so excited about this because I have some of my clients get up and speak about the clinical things they're doing in their practice or just managing their business. And it's just valuable information that everyone should have. And I know one thing I'm noticing, some of the younger doctors, they really would rather listen to a podcast than come to an event like that and be in a room with people who are going to make them look like, I'm better than you. And
sure.
So I just think this is so awesome to be able to spread the knowledge of what's going out there, these dentists and other dental professionals who have a wealth of knowledge and experience. And the other piece of this is the team members. I have a mantra, John, you hear me say it a lot, that personal growth precedes professional growth. And we need them to be continually challenging themselves and growing. And, I have an office managers retreat coming up in October, so I'm excited about possibly getting that on your live courses. And we're going back to the beach, the same place. Everybody loves that place in South Carolina where we go. So I'm going back.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, you bring up a great point, Paula. I think that I'm glad that you shared that certainly a lot of the younger dental professionals, how they're consuming the content is online or what have you. And it is so important for those that have been around for many years, that have so many ideas to share, things that have worked, that they take the time to put that together. I will tell you, we've known each other for several years. I was so proud of you after we had that first conversation, and you're like, I'm going to do it. I've created all this stuff over the years, and I'm going to figure out a way to get over the technology hump because you have so much great things to share that individuals will listen to. And I think that's what's cool about a lot of this is there's kind of a nice piece to picking up ideas and seeing those individuals that have been around for many years and making the decision to go this route. And I think it's appreciated and I think it's respected. And I think if we can combine technology with a lot of the good tips and some of the things that many of you have done over the years and get that out to people, it's super valuable. So.
Yes, it is, John. You're absolutely right. And I know I need to stop hiding my light under a bush. So, get out there. I know. You've been so encouraging to me. Well, one last thing before we go. I know that you and I discussed something that you're doing that is very exciting as well. And you're the COO of Goal Concepts. So tell me what that's about.
Yeah, so as if there's not enough going on when it comes to like technology and all that, I just this is something that I'm really excited about and passionate about, Paula. In the 3 years that I was at Mortensen, helping these practices grow, I had created a very, very simple goal tracker, and I did it for a couple of reasons. Reason number one was I wanted to help the practices grow. And as I was working with the teams and talking to everybody, not just the doctor, but the whole team, and I would talk to them about goals, I started to ask questions. And what I realized was I would see a doctor get up, in front of the team at the beginning of the month or for the year and say, okay, we're going to do $120,000 this month, or we're going to do $2 million this year. And he or she was excited. But a lot of times the team it was very difficult for them to wrap their heads around what that meant.
Yes.
When you throw those big numbers out there, like we're going to do 120 this month, it can be kind of discouraging only because it's very hard to understand what that means on a day-to-day basis. The second thing that I witnessed was that if I would work with a hygienist or in some cases even a doctor, I would say, what is your daily goal? And they'd say, well, I want to do $1,500 today, or I want to do $5,000 today. And then I'd come back the next day and they'd say it's the same exact goal. And sometimes I would see those practices miss. And they would look back and they say, man, why did I miss? And I started to put the pieces together and I said, you can have the same goal every day, but why don't we try to make it even more specific and in conjunction with what we've already produced. So I created a spreadsheet called the Dental Goal Tracker, where a practice would go in and they would put what their goal was for the whole year, and then they would put down how many days they were going to work and the practice was going to be open for the year. And the way that it worked is that way it would produce a daily goal. However, each day they would come in and they would put in what they did the day before. So if their goal was 5,000 for the practice and they did 4,500, they would put that in, and their goal would go up just a little bit that next day because it takes into consideration the whole year.
Yeah.
And what it does is it evens out a lot of the highs and lows. So if you have a really good month in January, it doesn't drastically lower your goal in February. It kind of, lowers it a little bit so that you can keep your team motivated. On the flip side, if you do not have such good of a January and you struggle, you don't have to do much better in February because it evens it out for the whole year.
That's great.
So about a year ago, I decided to take all these Excel spreadsheets and create a software program and put it all online so it was super, super easy. So that's when we created the company goal concepts, and the tool is the Dental Goal Tracker. It's very simple. It's very affordable. It's $59 a month, and you go in there. You take a little bit of time on the front end. You identify what you want your goal to be for the year. You go in and you put what the days the practice is closed, the days the practice is not going to be open in regards to holidays and a vacation or what have you, and it automatically does everything for you. So all you have to do every day is come in and put in what you did the day before and put in what's on the schedule. It provides you a daily gap. So if your goal is 6,000 for the day and you have 5,000 on the schedule, it's great conversation for the team because we can say, okay, we've got 5,000 scheduled. If we can make up $1,000 today, let's help some patients get some work done. It keeps the team focused on one day at a time, that old cliche. And so they don't have to worry about what they're going to do for the month or for the year. It just keeps everybody focused on, what they need to do today.
Yeah, I have that conversation with teams all the time. They're like, well, it's going to be a low month because we're taking a week of vacation. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Right.
We adjust our goal for that.
Absolutely. And that's something that, people a lot of times will have the intention to adjust their goals. But if you get distracted on something or this or that, or it's on an Excel spreadsheet, it can get lost. So we wanted to make that process really easy. I use this in probably close to 80 dental practices across the country.
Nice.
It's very successful. It's very simple. There's certainly a lot of different, data platforms out there, but we wanted to focus on the one thing. I learned that if you don't produce dentistry, everything else takes care of itself if you help the patients get the dentistry done. If you want to look at all the different data points of, hygiene recall and new patients, all this stuff is important, but it's all driven by, getting dentistry done on a daily basis.
Right.
So.
You're exactly right. Well, John, you're an amazing guy. You're into all kinds of stuff, and I can tell you're passionate about dentistry, and you make it so easy for us, and I really appreciate that.
Well, my pleasure. It certainly gets me up out of bed every day, and especially when those two little ones are chasing me down. And,
exactly.
Wanting to hang out.
Yes.
It certainly is my motivation. I love dentistry, Paula. It's been such an amazing industry. It's given back to me in so many ways, and certainly motivates me every day to want to continue to give back to all of the great people that do what they do. So I really appreciate it.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, John, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, Paula.
All right. Bye-bye.